So let's proceed. Handling escalated customer scenario. So this is the material that we use to set expectations to those newly promoted role that requires them to take escalated calls like soup calls or man calls. So you may experience or you may see some behaviors that are not present in the prod, but again, expectations are should be set. Yeah, these should be the behaviors that you should be following whenever you take escalated calls, customer scenarios. Okay. First, agenda. Understand your role as a supervisor. So we need to understand what is your role as a supervisor when taking escalated calls. You need to understand what is an escalation and what is not. No? Escalation expectation. So we need to let you know what are you going to be expected whenever you take over an escalated call. We will teach you behaviors on how to turn around unhappy customers and a quick review of our Metro path to resolution. Okay. Please read.
Every day we're saying how can we keep our customers happy because if we don't, somebody else will.
Give me another telco that is not Metro by T-Mobile.
Xfinity.
May telco, Xfinity, okay?
No.
Give me another one.
Wala na ako pa.
Oh, AT&T.
Yeah.
We also have Sprint siguro or Cricket. There's a lot. And our customers can always choose to switch to those carriers if we are not treating them or making them happy, right? Learning objectives. By the end of the session, we should determine the reasons for customers' escalation. We will define what it means to own the call. We can also identify the procedures and processes for proper handoff, especially when it comes to escalated call scenarios. The voice creed. Were you part of the batch where we are discussing voice creed way back in Metro PCS?
No, I forgot my sir.
You're not? Okay. But in an escalated call, we are expecting our supervisors or those who are taking escalated calls to follow our voice creed. Can you please read?
The voice creed. Metro expects that every customer will have an exceptional, one-of-a-kind experience in every call. This can be done by using voice. Voice is an outward expression of your empathy, enthusiasm, elevated energy, free spirit, motivation, confidence, and the ability to think outside of the box to find real solutions. With the voice, you will succeed. Be exceptional, be the voice, be Metro.
Right. So these are behaviors that we are expecting from everyone. They should show empathy all the time. They should show enthusiasm and elevated energy. They can always have that free spirit conversation. They should always talk to our customers with motivation and confidence and always have the ability to think outside of the box just to look for a solution, for extra solution for our customers. What is an escalation? So these are reasons why customers are asking for a supervisor or a manager. And it's best that you need to have an experience about this. Can you read all the expectations or the reason why customers are asking for an escalated call, please?
A customer could escalate because first, expectations were not fulfilled. Second, it feels like a victim. Third, she feels that no one will listen to her unless she yells and makes a ruckus. Fourth, whether or not he is right, he will find a reason to support his position. Fifth, she doesn't believe she was heard. And you or someone in your organization was uncaring, impolite, or disrespectful. Next is he was informed that he had no need to be furious. And he was told one thing by one staff member and something else by another. And she was given a smart or flip reply. And lastly, you don't have enough training to handle her situation quickly and accurately.
All right. So after understanding possible reason why customers are asking for an escalation, knowing that these are possible reasons, how will this help you talk to these people or customers who's asking for escalation?
Mm, how will it help me?
How will it help you?
I think this will how I will flip the table from the customer that is frustrated to that I have given them a resolution, even though I given them an information, a very important information, even though it's not resolved.
Right. So if the customer got frustrated because she feels that no one will listen to her unless she yells and make a ruckus. What will you do in talking to this customer?
We'll have to listen to the customer's rant or vent because they just need to someone that needs to vent out
Right.
and pacify the customer.
Okay, what if the customer calls somebody or somebody to speak with because you or someone in your organization was uncaring, impolite, or disrespectful?
Apologize to the experience that they had with the previous agent or person that what do you call this, help them.
Alright, so we need to acknowledge that we understand that you were treated disrespectfully by someone. No? Last, what if someone or what if the customer looked for someone because he was told one thing by one staff member and something else by another?
Still apologize to the customer
Okay.
and tell them the accurate information.
All right. So now that we know the reasons or possible reasons why they're looking for someone else, we can talk to them better the way they want to be interacted with, right? So these are just some of the possible reasons. There may be more, but with this, we would know how to interact with those customers already. Okay. Next, soup call happens when a customer is not satisfied with the representative he or she is speaking with. I need you to read the yellow boxes for me, please.
What here? This is the end time I'm calling about this issue. I am upset. Why do I need to keep repeating? I don't understand you. I'd rather cancel my service.
Alright. So these are possible escalation, but it doesn't mean that it's already looking for an escalated person. So what if an agent approached you, SME, customer mentioned that he's already upset, can you take over this call? How would you, or what will you do with that scenario?
Tell the agent first to just listen to the customer and acknowledge their feelings and pacify the customer if needed. But if the customer insisting on a supervisor, then transfer.
Alright. So these are the part that we can help the agent de-escalate the situation first, right? Give them behaviors on how they can get the customers to like them before taking over the call. I want you to read the purple boxes for me, please.
What you don't hear, I want to speak with a supervisor. Is there anyone else I can speak with? Transfer me to someone else. I want to speak with a manager. I don't want to talk to you.
Alright, so these are clear indication that they're now asking for either a supervisor or a manager. And this is where we can take over the call now. Right? So these statements are very important. We cannot just simply take over all agent mention that they want a sub call. We want to weigh things and also help the agent develop that confidence in how to address these types of issues. Okay. Next, ownership. When we talk about ownership, we want to make sure that we can help the customer or we show that we are here to help the customer out. First is empathy. Why do you think empathy is important when taking ownership?
In order for the customer to feel valued and we acknowledge their feelings toward the issue that they're having.
Okay, how would you feel if you're empathizing with people? What can you get out of that?
They will feel I'm trustworthy.
Okay, and you can get their buy-ins. This girl knows how I feel, so she would know how to help me with my issue. All right. Doing visual audit. How can this help you in taking ownership?
For me to provide accurate information to the customer and avoid confusion.
Okay, so always remember when it comes to this visual audit, what are you going to be visually auditing?
The account of the customer
That's in Edge. What else?
and the memos.
The memos, 360 view. You can also include MetroCare if there are information that you need from MetroCare. And it's best that you have full understanding before you start providing the issue to your customer so that you would know how many options are available. Right? And lastly, can-do attitude where we focus more on providing the resolution. So how will this help us, especially if there's multiple options available for the issue of the customer? How will this help us take ownership? What do you think?
Provide the accurate information to the customer, the most fitted option to the customer's issue.
That's right. If there's multiple fitted options for the customer, what will we do?
Provide those options in order for the customer to choose.
That's right. Right. So if there's 5 different resolutions for the customer's issue, Mr. Customer, here are 5 issue or here are 5 resolution that we can provide you, and have them choose. And for sure, whatever he choose is something that he knows he can work with. No, it's something that we cannot or he cannot force himself in doing. Avoidable are understanding avoidable upsets. So these are behaviors that our customers will definitely gonna be frustrated. And when taking in soup calls or man calls, these are the behaviors that we should avoid. So I want you to read the first statement for me. You or someone in your organization promised something that was not delivered. Can you read, please?
You or someone in your organization promised something that was not delivered. If you promised the customer you would get back to him and you didn't, then he may become upset. With good reason, most of us become upset when people promise action and don't follow through.
So how would you feel if somebody told you that I'm gonna give you $5 credits and then after 5 days, there's still no credits?
I would feel frustrated.
That's right. Anyone will definitely will feel frustrated, especially if they were given something that they did not receive. So please be careful with that specific behavior. Next, can you read the second one, please?
You or someone in your organization was indifferent, rude, or discourteous. Discourtesy is often unintentional. You may not have thought about your statement before you blurted out. Some people try to make funny comments, but this may come across as rude. Treat every customer as you would a special guest or relative.
Right. So we don't know what our customers' moods are, what their emotions are. Some of us will have that free-spirited behavior where we can talk to them anything or can ask them questions, but some questions may be offensive for our customers. So it's better that we keep it professional, avoid those possible funny jokes to avoid customers getting escalated or getting more frustrated. Okay. Next, can you read the third one, please?
The customer feels you or someone else in your organization has displayed an unpleasant attitude toward him. Perhaps this customer was surly himself, dressed unusually, or treated you poorly. This is no excuse for you to react unprofessionally.
Right. So there are gonna be cases where customers may be attacking you or giving us profanity. Always remember, do not retaliate. At the end of the day, if we do retaliate, we will still be on the bad side of not only the customer but from the company as well. So always keep it professional. Use the abusive script if you want to, but do not retaliate with our customers. Last is number 4. Can you read?
He is embarrassed about doing something incorrectly. Make sure the customer understands what he needs to know before he tries to use your product or service. Go over any procedures about returns or guarantees beforehand. That way you'll have fewer customers who are angry because of a misunderstanding.
Right. So if you see, again, our customers are not that professional when it comes to our product, right? So we cannot blame them and we cannot point out the mistake that they have committed. All we can do is to go over the disclosure so that this customer will not call us with regards to this issue again. Okay? Right. So these are behaviors that we have to avoid whenever we take escalated calls. Right? Moving forward, acknowledge feelings. These are, again, another behaviors that we should avoid, especially when we're talking to our customers on an escalated scenario na. Right? Can you read the bullets for me, please?
Here are some of the behaviors that need to be avoided. First, criticizing the speaker and delivery. Listening only for facts and not for feelings. Not taking notes or trying to write down everything down. Faking attention. Tuning out difficult or confusing information. Letting emotional words block the message. Interrupting or finishing the other person's sentences. Biases and prejudice. Not ensuring that you've understood, tolerating or creating distraction.
All right. So again, these are customer or these are behaviors that we may unintentionally apply whenever we talk to our customers that can frustrate them even more. What do you think your customer will feel if you have displayed one of these behaviors? What do you think are the possible outcome?
Mm,
Do you think the customer will be happy?
no,
No. If they're not happy, what do you think will they do?
they'll be upset.
Okay. If they're upset, what will they request?
They might ask to cancel their service and transfer to another.
All right. Which do you think you made an effective job into handling escalated calls?
No.
No. Right. So we need to make sure these are some somewhat small or minor behaviors, but can really make a bad impression, especially if an escalated call is a frustrated type of calls. They will be triggered in a very minor behaviors, especially when we're delivering it, when we're talking to them. So please be careful with these behaviors, okay? Next, these are the behaviors that we want you to deliver or to apply whenever you take escalated calls. First is tone of voice. Can you read, please?
Tone of voice. Your attitude is projected through your voice. Remember that helping customers is your job. Make sure your attitude always, I'm here to help as best as I can. People respond more strongly to how you say something than to what you say. When your voice is annoyed, impatient, or condescending, the customer will become angrier. When your voice sounds confident, the customer will believe you, you know what you're talking about, and it will be easier to calm them.
Okay, in a chat environment, it's somewhat different. You need to make sure that you type what your emotions are so that they will feel how confident you are and how accurate you are when it comes to your information. Right? Tone of voice is something that we want our supervisors or SMEs to really apply whenever they take escalated calls, because these are the behaviors that our customers would need, especially when it comes to an escalated scenario. Okay. Next.
Words that make a difference. The words you use with customers can help communicate or they can start a fight. Here are some common fight starters and suggestions for replacing them with communication helpers.
Continue.
Keep it impersonal. Fight starter. You didn't do this right. Communication helper. There are a few areas on this form that we need to complete. If the customer did something wrong, point out the mistake indirectly. She will often be embarrassed by her mistake. She may get angry because of this embarrassment and try to blame you.
Right. No. So again, instead of saying, Steph, you didn't do this right. Right. It's more offensive rather than saying there are a few areas in this form that we need to complete, Steph. Okay. So we need to make sure that we choose the right words because it can either help us communicate or it can start a fight. Okay. Next.
Use I instead of you. Fight starter. You're wrong. Communication helper. I can see there's been a miscommunication. Don't blame the customer when explaining what went wrong. Use either the indirect approach or I statements as much as possible. Avoid giving orders. Fight starter. You have to. Communication helper. Will you please? People like to be given a choice. Ask them pleasantly to do something or explain how it will be to their benefit.
All right. So again, these are again terms that can really trigger a customer. Steph, you're wrong. Either you can say, I can see that there's been a miscommunication, Steph. Steph, you have to do this, you have to do that. You can say, will you please do this, Steph? Right? Or Mr. Customer. So in this way, customer will feel that we're helping them rather than we're blaming them. So how to handle overall? Always be courteous, polite, and use a professional tone. Beware of your tone of voice. Discourtesy is the first step to a bad call. And speak slowly and evenly. Number 2, let the customer vent. Pay attention to what your customer is saying instead of how they're saying it. Again, Americans can definitely be using a lot of profanity. But if we focus on what their message are, we can easily understand what their problems are. Okay? If the customer raises their voice, you lower yours. Usually people will lower the volume to match yours. So I believe this is for voice. Okay? And number 3 is the use, the feel, felt, and found to acknowledge customers' concern. Show empathy and handle objection. I see how you feel, I felt the same way, and I found that this is the best solution for your concern. Okay? This is the old path to resolution. I believe you're familiar with this, no? So we start always with a greeting. If the customer is asking for a supervisor, you present yourself as a supervisor. If the customer is asking for a manager, then you present yourself as a manager. No? Determine customers' needs. Don't proceed to empathy unless unless you understand the whole customer's concern. Because empathy will not be that effective if you don't know what's going on. And then once you have the understanding of the issue, you proceed with empathy and you start fixing the problem. Once the problem is fixed, you proceed with educating the customer of disclosures, benefits, value of being a Metro by T-Mobile customer before you proceed with recap. Okay? Sige. Apologizing appropriately. So we Filipinos have that behavior that we keep on saying, I'm sorry, I'm sorry, I'm sorry. No? But Americans somewhat getting frustrated when it comes to multiple sorries or apologies. So these are how should we apologize appropriately. Can you read, please, Steph?
Apologize sincerely. Develop the habit of honestly apologizing when it's due. Remember, an apology isn't always needed. If Metro didn't make a mistake, don't apologize. Don't over apologize. Continuing to apologize focuses the caller on what went wrong rather than how you are going to resolve the issue. Don't interrupt to apologize. Waiting until all the frustration is out makes the apology more meaningful.
Okay. So make sure that we don't over apologize and don't interrupt to apologize. So thankfully, I have not experienced this any from our side. And for our last, solving the problem. So we need to make sure that we first get clarification from both customers and from the agent who's transferring the call. Form a team with your customer to show them that your patronage or their patronage is important, and take ownership, ask questions, offer a solution, and say it with confidence. And make sure to keep your promises by including it on the memo. Last slide. Shake it off. Can you read it for me, please, Steph?
Shaking it off. Don't take it personally. The customer is not upset with you personally. They're upset with the organization, a policy, a coworker, or themselves. The customer just wants someone to listen to how angry they are. Remind yourself this isn't personal, it's professional. Don't bore coworkers. Focus on the learning, not the experience. Get assistance if needed.
Okay. So again, taking soup calls may not be the most pleasant type of calls because a lot are already angry, a lot are already frustrated, even using profanity. But always remind yourself this isn't personal with our customer, it's only professional. So always make sure to shake off any deliveries, just focus on the message of the customer. Okay, right. So I need to know, what have you learned from today's session and what are you excited about using on your next escalated call behavior? What have you learned, Anay? What have you learned in this session?
I have learned to give clear communication and information to the agents and as well as to the customer.
Okay. And based on the behaviors that we spoke about, handling escalated calls, what are you excited about using on your next Zoom call? So these are behaviors that you have not used yet, probably, that you're excited to use or apply on your next call or next Zoom call. Any regarding feel, felt, and found, regarding any behaviors or regarding acknowledging customers' feelings,
Classifying the customer's feeling or acknowledging their feelings.
How?
If they are frustrated by flipping they go from frustration to
communication helpers, no? So the words that we use that can help communicate or can start a fight, right? So always remember, especially in chat, you have lots of time to think about your response, right? So you can read it multiple times to make sure that if this response would offend customer or not. If not, then you send it out. So you have that advantage when it comes to voice. So you, again, as I mentioned, you may have witnessed some of the supervisors taking Zoom calls which is not aligned, but I want to make sure that these are the expectations that you have to apply to make sure that you're delivering as what the client's standards are when it comes to taking Zoom calls.